You know, when you think about the Mahabharata, you probably think of epic battles, right? Or these deep philosophical debates. But believe it or not, one of the most powerful moments is just a list. Seriously. But this is no ordinary list. It's a roll call of some of the most powerful beings in the whole story. The great serpents, the Nagas.
And it all kicks off with a pretty simple request. There's this seeker, Saunaka, and he's listening to a grand recital. And right in the middle of it, he asks something really specific. He says, "We want to hear the names of the greatest of Kadru's sons." And that one question, well, it sets everything in motion, kicking off this incredible recitation that just blows the doors off the scale of this mythical world.
So this question literally hits pause on the main story. It's like Saunaka is asking everyone to just zoom in for a second, to really get a handle on the true scale of this one particular family line. And where does it all start? With their mother, the matriarch.
And this is the matriarch at the heart of it all, Kadru, the mother of the Nagas. Now get this, she didn't just have a few kids. We're talking about 1,000 powerful serpent sons. So yeah, when Saunaka asks for the names of just the greatest, you can already feel how big of a challenge that's going to be, right?
So the storyteller, this sage named Sauti, he hears this and immediately gets it. He understands the sheer scale of what's being asked. You want me to name all 1,000 sons? I mean, that's not just hard, it's a massive, monumental task. And his hesitation is really revealing. It totally sets the stage for what he's actually able to share.
And this is how Sauti, our storyteller, frames his answer. He says, look, to name all the serpents, that would be a lengthy task. Now notice what he's doing there. It's not a no, it's a clarification. He's basically telling us, okay, I can't give you all of them, but the list you're about to hear, this is a curated selection. These are the big names, the most important ones.
So that becomes the real question, doesn't it? If you can't name all 1,000, then who makes the cut? Who are the chosen few that absolutely have to be named? Who are the chieftains of this massive, powerful family? And you can just feel the anticipation building.
And so, Sauti begins. What we're about to hear are the names of the chief serpents, the founders of this immense dynasty. Just listen to the power in these names. First up, and he's the most important one, is Sesha, the firstborn. And this is a huge deal, because in Hindu cosmology, Sesha is a cosmic-level figure. He's the serpent that the god Vishnu rests on. So right out of the gate, the list starts with a being of absolutely immense universal importance. And right after him, Vasuki, another absolutely legendary name. You might know him as the serpent king that the god Shiva wears around his neck. So just think about that. The first two names on the list alone establish this incredible level of power and direct divine connection.
And now the list really starts to unfold. You can almost hear Sauti beginning this rhythmic chant. Airavata, Takshaka, Karkataka. You just know each one of these names carries its own incredible story.
And the names just keep coming. Nila, Anila, Kalmasha. And as you listen, you start to hear this rhythm, this catalog of unique beings. Some of their names suggest colors. Others suggest just raw, immense strength.
See, he's not just rattling off names like Nehusha or Pingala. What he's really doing is mapping out the key branches of this vast ancient family tree. He's creating a lineage, right here, with his words.
And then the texture of the lists kind of shifts. You get names like Padma, which means lotus, and that evokes beauty, mystique, but it's right alongside names that sound like pure, raw power, like Vrita. And with every single name, the sheer scope of this Naga world just becomes clearer and clearer. It feels like we're watching the foundation of an entire kingdom being laid out, one powerful name at a time. Okay, and then, wait a second, listen closely. Drishtarashtra. Does that name ring a bell? It absolutely should. That's the name of the blind human king, one of the most central characters in the entire epic. And seeing it here, in a list of ancient serpents, that is just a stunning reminder of how deeply, deeply interconnected this whole world really is.
Okay, we're getting close to the end of the recitation now. These names, Kutara, Kunjara, Halika, these are the final chiefs being called out in this main, primary line.
And it all ends with Mahodara. And boom, just like that, the recital of the main forefathers is done. But here's the thing. The reason for this long list, it's probably not what you're thinking.
Because this is where Sauti reveals the real purpose of that list. It wasn't just about answering Seneca's question, oh no. It was about laying the foundation for something so massive, so vast, that you can't even really count it.
I mean, just let that sink in. All those names we just heard, they're just the beginning, the tip of the iceberg. Each one of them had sons, and those sons had sons, until the number just spirals out of control into the thousands of millions. It's a number that's meant to make your head spin, to give you a sense of infinity.
So in the end, the number just becomes, well, uncountable, innumerable. That whole list of chieftains we just sat through, that wasn't the full story, not even close. It was the gateway to understanding a population so huge that it's, for all intents and purposes, infinite. It's just a staggering, mind-bending concept.
And that's really the key takeaway here, you know? This whole recitation wasn't just some impressive feat of memory. It was an act of world-building. It firmly establishes the Nagas not as some small band of monsters, but as a foundational race of truly epic proportions. A civilization with a population so immense, they could go toe-to-toe with gods and men.
And all of this leaves us with one final big question to chew on. Why? Why would an ancient storyteller go to such lengths to establish this absolutely incredible scale? What does it tell us about the kinds of stories we create and the worlds we build in our minds when even a simple list of names can unlock a universe that is, literally, beyond counting?